All right, I think we are live. Double check here. I think this is live, yeah. Cool. By the way, guys, this is first time for me trying to set up a live stream. This is gonna go very bad. OBS says live, and I think this is actually live, which is pretty cool. All right. Well, welcome back here to the DevRealm live stream. Today, you can see my screen. I'm uploading a video while I'm doing stream, which is probably not the wisest thing to do. But I'm trying to basically, by the way, I'm trying to find the feed of this so I can follow up what's going on. Yeah, which it is. Perfect. I can see myself doing this stream. This is really cool. So I just wanted to do a stream about my game. So basically, I started to do this game called, I don't have a name for it yet. And I'm trying to add these new features here. As you can see, I'm trying to build a UI. And the whole goal is just to see, let's see, I don't expect to be live this stuff. I don't expect nobody to watch this for now. But I'm just trying to do this UI here and try to make things work. And I just wanted to share a little bit of my workflow, how I do things online. How do I do like UIs and stuff. For example, now I want to share that I have this. Oh, this is very loud. Anyway, so I have here my stone. I just grab it and I have this on my inventory. And now I go here and I deposit, for example, the stone here on the stockpile, so I can transfer that. And if I press T, for example, I go to storage, I have 15 items there. So the next thing I'm trying to do here is just try to make sure that this UI it's working. So as you can see, it's all repeated. I'm just trying to make things work. And the way I do my UI is very simple, but it's like that. So for example, I have all the bits and pieces together, right? So for example, the next thing I need to do here is this. I need to kind of do this button. And as you can see, kind of use AI to build those buttons for me. And it's not great, but I'm just gonna just import this stuff here. So for example, right now, the AI kind of did a, it's tricky to get this clean up. I can kind of use a couple of options. Let's see if this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna try to go nuclear option and try to pick this color, right? And then what I can try to do is, because of the boots, the problem is, it's gonna try to delete this. It's gonna delete that, gonna delete this. Now I can delete this one, that. So I'm just gonna try to delete and clean up all this stuff. All right, so let's delete this part's fine. I think this is gonna look like, it's not gonna look great. So I think I'll probably, what I'm gonna do is that, you know, I'm just gonna do the easy option, which is just overlay on top of it. And then I'll just pick up the darkest color, right? Now it's gonna look a little bit like weird. So I'm just gonna fill up the gaps here. Okay. And I'm just gonna put this one right here as well. Nice. And that's it. Alright, so I think this is like a nice button, more or less. I don't expect this to be the final UI of the game, to be honest. It's just that I'd rather work with something that, you know, it's kind of, how can I say, that you can see that it's looking nice. So now what we need to put is the UIs here. And let's, you know what, let me show you my workflow a little bit. So for example here, right, I have my AI. Let me just say, yes, please create the icons image. So I'm just asking AI to build the icons for me. But before the AI do this, what I'm gonna do is that I need to import this on my Inkscape. So, to be honest, this is a bad color. Let's see if I can actually probably get this one. Just so it looks a little bit better. That looks okay. All right, let's try to bring this button to Unreal now. So we're gonna right group. DPI 300, perfect. I'm just gonna go back to my folders here, resource. I'm gonna do T-BTN fire NPC. I have no idea how this is gonna work on the game. But let me just find where is this button. I add the button. This is my GitHub, by the way. This is where I keep all my projects. Every single project, including those ones, I even keep on GitHub so I can control the version. Maybe it's probably not the best idea, but I like to keep them here. So let's just bring this button there. So it's gonna save all this stuff. I'm really bad at UI design. I know how to wire all the component stuff. It's just the UI for me is such a, I don't know, I'm not a fan. I'd rather make things work, you know, than actually UI. But it's part of the job as well, right? Part of the journey. All right, let's just add a nice button here in Unreal. Now, I think we need to make sure it's an image. The reason why, guys, I'm not reusing the button, it's because I'm not entirely sure how the final button is gonna look like. And one of the things I learned with AI is that it tends to create stuff very inconsistent. So probably my game has a lot of buttons with different colors and all over the place. But that's on purpose because I don't know exactly how my game's gonna work, the part of like resource management stuff. So I'm just kind of going with the flow, you know. Just gonna make this white, otherwise change the color. Looks quite cool. Let's press play. Let's have a look here. So if I press people, that looks cool. That looks nice. So I'm just gonna actually checking the devlog stuff here to make sure that the session still recording. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, fine. I'm just, by the way, I'm just checking my other screen. What am I doing? Which I can just see that I see myself. This is really like Nona style, right? Anyway, so now I have the button. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Now it's not aligned center properly. This is probably to do with the anchor. Let's just try to add the anchor here. Let's just double check how is the original design here for. So on the original one, it's here. It does have a little bit of more edges, but to be honest, I'm not. What I can do here as well, for example, right? Like this is what I kind of like about AI lately, is that I copy this button and I go to Mr. ChatGPT, which is here, and I'm like, can you please create the same button image but without the text, please? And let's see what's gonna come up with. Right now we're just gonna wire up the button, and I'm just gonna do a print string. And now let's see what happened. If I press play, should work, but nice. So we got a hello world. Perfect. So now I have my mockup. So I have more or less the age of the character, the origin of sure, his name. Here I'm gonna add I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this, because when the AI came up with a UI for that, he had this stuff like change role and send to rest. I get the one send to rest, but change role, I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna actually implement this. So I probably need to add something else there, but I'm not sure. Okay, so now that we have this stuff, let's just add the text. I'm just gonna copy this text and paste it. And I'm gonna call this fire npc btn. And this is gonna be just fire text. And we can just make sure like fire, perfect. Or dismiss or fire, let's just put fire npc for now. This, it's going to be aligned like that. Let me just double check how does the UI looks like. This color now. So maybe we can pick it up like a white color. Do we have anything? That looks good. Now it does have a kind of outline. Not fun of outlines, but In this case, that looks quite cool actually. And we can actually add this. Maybe a little bit of a darker color. Oh, in the meantime, my video has render. I'm just doing some uploads on the background, just in case you guys are checking here. I have way too many stuff open on my screen. But just in case you guys are wondering, actually I'll show you what I'm doing. I created some videos for the new course that I'm working on. And for some reason, I'm using Filmora to create the renders, and I forgot to drag the damn video to the right timeline. And it ended up like someone flagging. I was like, hey, the video looks wrong because of reasons. I was like, oh yeah. So I have to basically rebuild the whole thing. But that's fine. And you guys can watch this new tutorial on the devrealm.com. So I recommend you watching that. But GPU acceleration, sure. Yes. Okay. Go back to Inkscape. ChatGPT did our part. Can you... Yeah, I want without the icon. ChatGPT. Can you also remove the icon, please? I kind of like the icon though, but you know what? It doesn't look too bad. Let's implement that. But before, let me just go back to this one. Press OK. Let's just change the size of this to like. Actually, I'm gonna do a scale box. That's fine. I'm just gonna actually change the size of that to be. Well, I'm not sure because of the icon, right? So I'm just gonna leave it like 30 for now, and I'm gonna wrap this button with a scale box so everything gets more or less fine. That looks really bad, so I'm just gonna do a Control Z, right? So what I like to do, for example, now that I'm creating this this image that I download on ChatGPT, I explain my process to actually extract this. So usually, if you're using things like no Inkscape, how's it called? Adobe, it does that for us. But I like to use a tool called Vectorize. So then I go to Vectorize. I paid for this tool, so it's not super expensive though. And now, let's have a look. Nice, download. Put it that, perfect. So now it creates me a vector, right? Now I can just copy this, go back to, not here, to my window there. I like to put everything in the same place just to keep things consistently. Otherwise it gets a little bit hard, tricky to work with. Now I have the button, right? So I think I can just group. To be honest, I can use this button the way it is. It's really good. I don't have to change anything. I'm just gonna go back to here, resources, change this to PNG. This one, the Fire NPC. Nice. Now I'll go back to Unreal. This is the only thing that I feel like it takes a while to get my head around. It's very time consuming as well. But you see, now it has the Fire NPC. Now I can use the scale box, so it gets the button more or less the size they should. Now this one we can use like 12 or even 0. Just 1, 2. Let's just try to use a scale box inside the bottom. Would that work? Scale to fill, or fill to... Why is that not actually? Let's replace with child then. Why is it doing this? Is that because the scale is too small? Ah, of course. It's the padding, right? So we need to add a padding from the left. Let's maybe add 20, 30. Can I add a padding without breaking everything? Okay, I can't. So I'm gonna have to change the way my button works. I wanted to do something quick, but it doesn't look like this is gonna be the case. So that's fine. I'm gonna replace with child. Alright, let's just double check if ChatGPT did the button that I asked for. Nice, perfect. Okay. Unfortunately, guys, we're gonna have to do a version of this damn button without the boots. I'm gonna have to extract the boots to make this proper. So I think there is a way we can actually fix this with Unreal, but I have to be honest with you, I don't know that much about UI at this point. Oh, I replaced a button with a button. That's not good. With child. All right. So that's fine. So I'm just gonna go back to here. Is it downloaded? This is the PNG version, perfect. Oh, now it's gonna download the SVG version. Is the OBS okay? Looks good. There's a warning here, which is called stress test. I don't know what's that, but OBS looks good. All right, so now let's go back to Jesus Christ, I'm starting to get lost. So many stuff open on my machine. Okay, now I have the damn button right. Cool. Let's just go back here. Let's just scale this down a little bit. It's too big. Right, now we can... Oh, now this is gonna export the blank page. Select it. Go back to components. Go back to PNG. Resources. This is to do one button, man. Jesus. Not even the rest of the UI was so complicated. This button is crazy. I think I'm doing something wrong with my workflow. I need to improve that. Okay. Right. And also the fact that I'm doing like upload of a video, doing the streaming, probably doesn't help. But anyway. Now we have the button. So it's not going to have the boots, which is what we want. Right. And now the trick is that we need to add a horizontal line to add the boots. Now this icon, to be honest, it looks very crap, but it's fine. I'm not gonna worry about too much about this because, as I mentioned, it's probably not gonna be the final design of the UI because of, you know, just reasons. So I'm just gonna remove that, remove this. But I'm really glad that AI exists to help us with the UI because, you know, without AI, I would have done like a very crap UI. Not saying that this is the best UI ever, but it looks quite cool actually. It doesn't look too bad. I'm just gonna copy. Now I can delete this, that, delete this stuff. Come on, delete that, delete this. As you can see, I have to be very precise with this UI that AI generates. Sometimes it's a bunch of crap that, like, I could have done this in Inkscape, but to be honest, the learning curve of Inkscape sometimes is a little bit overwhelming. So I just rather use the AI to build this for me because I want to focus on the logic, and I can't spend too much time building the UI at this point because I don't even know how the game's gonna look like, right? So let's just put T fire icon boots. Nice. Let's bring this to Unreal, guys. Let's go. Now, you notice that on Inkscape, I always keep 300 dpi. So the reason why I keep this is because you can zoom in and it doesn't lose too much quality. Now, for example, if at this point you want more quality, then we need to increase the DPI, but increase the file size, right? In terms of performance, I guess it does affect a little bit Unreal, but I think it's negligible, to be honest. Horizontal. So we're gonna add a horizontal box here. Now, is there any icon with a... Yes. I'm going to paste that one here. Nice. I'm going to move this on top. Perfect. Now, this doesn't look great, but it will look fine. Don't worry. We're going to manage to get this working cool. Now, I think we need to do, on this scale box, fill Y. On the horizontal, we have to do this one. This inside, no, I have to stretch. Yes, stretch. Let's just have a look. How's the original button look like? Dismiss. They're quite close together. So I think, so is, no, this needs to be like that. This is fine. This one has to be aligned right here. Now we're gonna call this Fire NPC. That's fine. Let's just increase the size to be like 30. Nice. Now, how do I remember how to do this again? So you do that. Nope, no, auto, stretch, here. There's like a trick you do. I always get myself confused with this. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't look too bad actually. Now let's just put the icon, right? The boots one, so it looks even better. Where is the boots? I don't think I brought the boots. Yeah, I have to go back to the resources, bring the boots, and then select the boots here. Now I can compile and save. Let's just have a look how that button looks like. So if you press T, fire. Okay, doesn't look too bad. I kind of like it. I think it's a little bit big, but at this point it's fine. By the way, I didn't show you guys this. This is quite cool actually, this this widget, because the way I created is like, you see this little circle, right? So we have here, for example, more if I put let's say night, evening, right? So you should go there. And if I go here and press play, look at this. It moves it. So the idea is that as the time passes, it's gonna move around. So that's the idea of this. All right, so I think we got this kind of working fine. Now, I'm gonna add a button here just to fill up this gap, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do here, which is this one here. So if I go back, I do have this stuff like change role, right? So this is another button that, let's use AI just to help me out with this stuff, because cleaning this up is gonna be too complicated. Let's just do this. Can you do the same here? Remove the text, please. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what's doing here. I think that's fine. So perfect. So now, come on. I think I should have told him, can you please remove the icon? But anyway, let's go back here to the engine. Now let's just wire this stuff up. So right now, the way my widgets works a little bit of a mess because testing purposes, right? But I have here the people's tab, right? And this thing is enable. So I'm gonna set the visibility to be collapsed. So if I press play and I press T, you should be able to see the citizen. So the idea is that you press add a citizen, he goes here, and then you can add Potato Joe if you want, and then you hire the guy, and then he's like a miner, lumberjack, whatever. And then you go back, and if you press on this, I want to show up that screen. That's what we're gonna do right now. So let's go back and disable this. The problem is that this, it's a component. So I'm gonna have to create an event on this because it's a widget inside a widget, right? So I'm just gonna create here a new EV, and I'm gonna probably call open character settings. All right, and I'm just gonna call this event right here, and that's it. So we're gonna open up that. Perfect. Let's just have a look. I mean, I don't even know if this event's working. Is this firing? So let's have a look. So if you open up people. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I don't like this UI though. Still has a little bit of a border, but this is not done automatic yet, but we're gonna figure out. Also, I need to figure out a better UI for this. When I press U, this is horrible. This is really bad. I have to improve this UI. But anyway, let's do the next step. So now on the people's tab, I can grab my citizen list and I can kind of go, well, this is gonna be dynamic, but right now we can kind of just cheat a little bit. This is what like I recommend, like sometimes when you're working with this, just build the whole flow and then you figure out the logic after. So we're gonna bind event on open character settings. No on bind, sorry. Bind EV on open. On character, what is it? Bind event to character settings. Perfect. Now we need to open up the delegation, right? Well, there's two ways you can actually do this, guys. You can actually pass the reference of the parents to the child, and then you hand on the child, or you do like this way that I'm doing. They're exactly the same, to be honest. I think the first way is maybe in terms of performance more efficient, but Unreal Engine does a pretty good job in terms of UI. So custom API, let's just call this open settings. Now, I am not using modals to do this. The reason why, it's because this screen that you see here is always on the page. It's always available. And it's kind of interfering with the inventory. It's interfering like with a bunch of stuff. So I was like, okay, let's just make sure that this is always available. And as you can see, I kind of need to improve this. This border here looks really bad. But let's just worry about that later. Right, so now the first thing we need to do when we open up that page is that we need to disable this list. So we need to disable this citizen list, which is that. So I need to enable that. I mean, I could just enable this. Let's try. Let's see. So this is gonna be, got this, set visibility, and we plug it right there. So visible, let's see what's gonna happen. And we need a way to go back, yeah. Okay, go back, perfect. It doesn't look too bad. But also, I think I would just basically disable the scroll bar. And where's this border? Ah, the border is the whole thing. Okay, that's fine. Is there a problem? Maybe, but that's fine. That's fine for now. Now we need to wire the back button as well. The only problem is, let's just have a look. So when you open up here, they add citizen still there. So we just need to basically go here and do that. Perfect. Set visibility and collapsed. And let's just check. Let's check. So if I go back, okay, you open up. It's fine. You can do your stuff. You can fire the NPC. Yeah, you can drag and drop the window as well. Now the next thing I need to do here, I think, is to go back, right? Like just it's a button to go back. I could kind of use the same one. Oh, my video just finished rendering. Let's just do the next one here. This is kind of crazy. Come on. Don't save. So you guys can kind of participate of me rendering the videos as well. This is basically a process how I do it. I do leave it running on the background. And I don't edit that much the videos, as you guys probably could notice. Actually, that one had a issue with the screen. So I can just save this. I try to record them in a way that I don't have to do too much editing, because I'm doing too many projects. It gets confusing at some point. But anyway, so that's running. Now we have a problem, because here I have the back button, and if I hide this button, I also have another back button here. So do we add a new back button, or do we use the same? Let's use the same. Let's try to use the same button, right? So on the back button here, where is it? Back. Perfect. In theory, all the things I have to do is just to get the scroll box, right? No, not the scroll box, sorry. This citizen info and disable, right? Let's just get this. Set visibility. Now let's try to add this stuff here. And we do collapsed, yeah. And now we need to clean up this. So if this works fine, let's see if the flow is good. So we got a character, add citizen, go back here. Oh, I can't go back with the button. Let's just try one thing. So we have the back button there. Perfect. So when I open up the bind event stuff, I need to open up, oh, this, the get back, this one, set visibility, and I put it to visible. So this is, ideally, this is not the best way of doing a UI because you want the UI to kind of understand itself. But since this is going to be a UI on himself, I don't have to worry about too much because you're not going to be opening this page all the time. You know, it's going to be once in a while. All right. You know, I could increase the size of this. This is probably because to do with this box here is causing a problem. So I think, let me just go back to my GitHub here. I just want to push the stuff just to make sure I don't lose it, because now I'm at the stage that if I add something dumb, it can actually, you know, end up losing my progress. Not something that I'm looking forward. Right, so we got this stuff working fine. Now let me see if I can actually fact. The problem is I did a mistake. I added a border on top of everything, and this is a problem. I didn't realize at the time, and this is what I see. Like, I don't know how this widget was gonna look like, right? So what I'm gonna probably do here is I'm gonna try to first get this border and add as part of the scroll list. So let's just set a border, and then on the border top I can add that. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Now what I can do, I can, on the stop border, I can kind of replace with child, and the child I can replace with a child. Right, nice. Okay, it looks better. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Looks okay. Now we can increase the size of that to fill up the window. That looks a little bit better. Now let's just press play and see the damage. See how bad it looks. Shit, it doesn't look good. Boy. What I think is to do. Let me double check. Why does it look so out of place? I think it's to do with the anchor. Let's just anchor this on the top. Let's do 0.5 trick. Let's try it again. Oh, actually that was fine. Let's try. I don't know why Unreal Engine, sometimes if you don't anchor things, they look really bad. Like, it's not looking great, and I think it's to do with the parent container. So what I'm gonna do here, guys, I am gonna just basically do a couple of Ctrl-Z. I'm gonna leave the way it was working, because I think that's fine for now. And then I may have to do a refactor of this later. It's still bad. Let's check. What did I do? Ah, it's because of the scale box. I see. This is the scale box. Okay. I'll leave it like that. I'm not super happy with how the size of this is, but I can fix this another time. Let's just make sure this list works. All right. So now let's try to figure out this damn list. See if we can actually get this working. So I'm just gonna put this in another window so I have more space to work here. Now on my game, I have this thing called NPC. I think it's called base NPC. This one, yeah. It's gonna open up back. So all the NPCs that I add right here, I'm gonna add this one here. They're probably not gonna do it. They're probably not gonna work. But the point is that I don't care if they work right now, right? So if I press U, I can see all the NPCs. They generate random names, and I kind of use a list. I'm probably gonna have to change how those names works, and you can actually control them, which is pretty nice. You can actually do a full control of the character, which is pretty cool. And you can even like if you press F, it triggers like the ragdoll. But anyway, so what I want to do here is, what was it again? Oh yeah, the tab stuff, yeah. So if I press here, people, I want to display them as a list, right? I don't have an icon for them yet, but let's just try to do this. So this widget uses, that I know, if I go back to the graph here, I do have the world resources. And if I search for world resources manager, I am gonna actually change the name of this actor to be, instead of called BP Castle castle resources. Because I'm doing like a castle simulation, it makes more sense to call castle. Now I don't care about this thing anymore. So the way I'm looking for my characters is like that. So I'm just like add all the citizens. So I'm getting all the characters of type. Like I'm not filtering enemies. I don't care about that stuff right now. Let me just double check this is actually working. I'm gonna do a length. Add it right here. I can compile and save. And let's see. So now if I go back and, by the way guys, if the camera may shut down, it's because I'm using like I'm using my phone to do this. So I apologize for this if that happened. It happened before. Right, so what I was looking for is the count, yeah. So I'm looking for the count. Yes, 3. Perfect. This is working. Nice. Now, I know that my people tab already have that widget passes as a reference. Now, all I gotta do here, in theory, is I need to call an event that loads this stuff for me. So I'm just gonna put this citizen list. I misspelled that. Citizen list. And I'm gonna put this as a variable. I'm gonna copy this. Perfect. So I'm gonna create here an event. Actually, I'm just gonna comment this. So when we add a new citizen, citizen, and this one, when we remove, no, this is not remove, sorry. When we press back on the menu, right? I know this sounds very stupid comment, but it helps you understand after. Because if I go back 6 months from now, I have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm going to call this API add, or let's say list available citizen, or available citizens. Citizen. I think that's citizens. Well, I'll correct my English after. Now I'm going to basically get my world resources, and if I remember right, citizens, yes, get citizens, and then I'm just gonna do a for each loop, and that gives me the access, so I can get character, or get character manager, I think that's what it's called, character manager, yeah, which is the one that tells me the name of the characters. For now I can actually print, and I can just like get character, or how's it called, oh my gosh, NPC info, that's it, break, and we can get a name. For press play is probably not gonna work because I need to call this on the event construct. I can do actually on the event I mean I could do on the pre-construct, but let's see. So if I press T, people, there we go. Nice. What's my name? Norik. So my name is Norik. There you go. So let's just display all the characters here. Let's just make the logic. So do we have any comments? I probably don't have any comments on the YouTube. Sorry, I have all the stuff in front of me, but anyway, I didn't even check. Probably, I'm not sure if people are watching, but that's fine. Let me just close the YouTube on, otherwise it's distracting to see myself talking at the same time. Right, so we're doing this stuff. We're doing the loop, calling this event. Now we just need to kind of edit this. So we're gonna edit this information. I'm just gonna create here NPC info. I'm just gonna pass the whole object because I don't want to be bothered to just pass simple things. So it's just called master character infrastructure. It's a very long name, master character infrastructure. One of the hardest things in programming is always naming things, and that's why you come up with this amazing name, master character info. It's like, oh my gosh, horrible name. But anyway, so I'm gonna do this on the event construct. I'm gonna create an event called custom event called API populate data. And now here, just need to basically get the name. Oh, this is oh, they're not public. So let's just improve this. So it's gonna be character name. This is gonna be character role. Oh, nice. And oh, role name. Just call role name. Now I don't have this information. This one I can kind of make it work. I mean, I don't think I have an icon. No, maybe I think I do. Actually, I do have icon. So character icon. And let's check, is OBS all good? Yep, all fine. What's the warning? I'm getting a warning. Oh, that's fine. It's just upload rate. It's fine. Don't worry, guys. If the live goes down, it's fine. Right. So this, it's gonna be the name. Set text. And let's just set this text here. Let's do the same for this role name. And set text. That's it. And oh no, not two tips, sorry, set text. There's always, I always get confused with this stuff. Nice. And now we just need to get our character. Let's see the information we have available. Okay. And I can actually have the name. And I think, oh, this is wrong. My spaghetti code here. So we have the role, yeah, to string. And then we can just plug, actually, do we have like two text? There is two text, yeah, okay. And now in theory, if I go back here, just call that function right there. I could have just wired everything up, but I may want to recall this in real time, I think, because we're gonna have to like check if the tax rate and all this stuff is going increasing, you know, all that jazz. So this is fine. On the people's tab, now actually I have to go back and delete this because I don't need that. Yes, let's delete that. Get my citizen tab here. I'm gonna clear anything's inside, so clear children, just because I may be reloading stuff, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do that. Nice. So now we can actually create widget from the class, and we can actually add here. Now we need to pass the NPC information. Right, so we're just gonna plug this stuff here. Now I need to add this to here, citizen list, add child, right? This goes here, this goes there, and we can kind of do this right. So we can compile and save. Oh, there's a problem. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's because I kind of deleted the open settings, but don't worry, we're gonna figure out that. So now if I open up T and press people, look at that, I got all the characters here. Oh, the icon, let's do the icon, icon's cool, icon is cool. So by the way, I don't have I have a generic icon, but after I can change that and it will be fine, you know. Let's get the icon, set texture to this one, and I think I do have icon. There we go, I have icon. Perfect. They're very generic icons, so I can probably ask ChatGPT to add the icons. But the cool thing about this, right, is that, for example, I can go to, let's say, this lady here, right, and on her I can actually go to, what is it, character. I have so many components on a character. I probably need to clean this up. But there you go. So I have the character icon here. And on my people's tab, let's just go back to the border, because I do have an icon that I can use. There you go. So you can actually add the citizen icon there, right? It doesn't match with the character, but that's fine. And if I press people, look at that. And I can even select her gender as well. So if I go back and say, what is it, female character. Now I press play. I even wire up in a way that it changes. Oh, I have so many commands. Jesus. It doesn't show. It only shows on this one when I press this one, and it shows the lady. You can control her. That's quite cool. Come here. I don't think she's attacking, is she? Okay. My frame rate is really bad. Not sure why it's so slow. But anyway. So now we have this stuff done. I have now... I think we can kind of add the gender on the character now. Yeah, we can actually do that. Let me just double check. Oh my gosh, which one was that component again? Is the possess or character list? Just double check. So I have this somewhere. Modules. Oh yeah, is gender. So if I go back to female, where is the icon? Icon. There you go. Female icon. That's it. This is what I like to do when I have no idea where my widget is. So I just press delete, and then now I know character list. And then let's go back here, and then it tells me exactly what it is. Character possession. I was right then. All right, so let's just copy this, right? So this has a horizontal box with the icon. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna replace this stuff, I think. I mean, I don't need to do that, you know, I can just copy this damn icon here. Go back to the character list. So we have the lumberjack. I'm just gonna wrap with a horizontal box, right? And I can paste here. And that is fine. Now let me check. If it's too small, we can kind of increase the size here. So people, that looks good. Okay, it's kind of Pokemon vibe now. I'm getting a little bit of a Pokemon vibe here. So let's just put 32 by 32. Gets better. Nice. So now the gender icon, I can actually assign this as well, so it's fine. Now I'm probably gonna have to change this icon, because the design of it I done using like a different AI model. The time my game had no UI style, so I have to do select. Okay, select. It's fine. Right. So if is male, let's just get the gender up. Plug it that. So male, and then we have female, and that's it. Just put these icons there. So the icons are set up. Now if I press play, let's see. Well, look at that. That's cool. That's cool. We got this working. Now let's just get this stuff. Now you see that there's a problem. The border here, it's very small, right? Like it's kind of everything together. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go back to the people tab. I'm just gonna add a padding. I think I'm gonna add a padding before, just to make the nodes a little bit better. So set padding, plug it right here, right? And I'm just gonna add like a double click here, just to make things to look a little bit nice, so it looks less spaghetti. At this moment, I have to spend like a week just going back to my project and naming and stuff. It's too much. Now, so from the top, we're gonna add a padding. Let's try to add 50. Let's see. Let's press play. So people, okay, too much. Let's just add 25. 25. Let's see what is gonna happen. So we have here storage, people. Okay, now what I kind of want to do, I mean, I don't have to do this, but if this is the first index, right, I can kind of, let's just have a look. This is just me being very picky here. But you have, if the index is 0, I don't want to add a padding there, right? I just want to kind of add paddings for the rest. So what I'm going to do is just that trick again of a select, right? And what I'm going to do is this equals 0 branch. If it's false, do that. If it's true, just let's leave it the way it is. Let's see. Okay. Yep, I think it's good. Still too much padding though. Just gonna put 20. 20 is fine. And that's it. Okay, people. Perfect. Nice. So we got all this stuff working properly. Now the next thing I want to do here is I want to wire up the next event, which is this. Right, so to do this one, I think on the loop we just need to bind the event now. So I'm just going to copy that, bring it here. So after I can kind of hide those things to make it look nice, but I can bind the event there and plug it, right? And if you're struggling to understand what I did here, is that because I already have an event, right? Open character settings that I'm literally just moving things up. We're gonna have to change this event though. So I'm gonna have to go and press back, open, perfect. Now, when I click on this, I need to load up this information of the character as well, which is easy to do, and we already have the information. The only thing that I believe we have to do here is that we have to pass the character reference, because if I want to send the character to sleep, I may have to do that as well. Even here, I need to get the character reference. So let's just go back to that. And in the citizen list, let's do a little bit of a better job here. So instead of passing the NPC info, I'm going to pass here the character ref, right? And the list here, I have a BCP character manager object. No, I need the BP base master RPG character object reference. It's just a long name as well. BP base master. There you go. Expose and spawn. And now what I can do is I can get this, get manager. From the manager, I just get this, get NPC info, and then I plug it right here. Now let me just go back to my part. Where is this here? Let's just wire up the next part. Come on, Filmora. Open up the next part. Nice. I'm sorry for this, guys. I'm just gonna using this quick thing here to upload my stuff to the devrealm.com so you guys can watch this awesome tutorial that I was working on. But anyway, now on the People's tab, what I can actually do is refresh this, and I can just go back and edit here. You can see that probably my PC is struggling now. This is because I'm probably rendering the video here, but that's fine. Right, so now we pass the character reference. We go back here. I don't need this NPC reference anymore because I can load from here. So if I refresh this, perfect. Now let's just press play and see what's happening. So if I go back and press people, everything works fine. Nice. That's exactly what we're looking for. It's just that it's better to deal with this than with the rest. Now, when I open up the tab here, and I need to go back to the event, and I need to pass actually input parameter, a variable, yeah, this one, and this is gonna be character ref, right? And it's gonna be BP base master, BP base master character reference. Nice. And now I'm just gonna plug them here, and that's it. Now I'm gonna go back to the People's tab, which is a funny name for a tab. And now I have the character reference here. You see? Now with this, basically, what I can do is just I can just set this to open character info or something like that. You know, this is just so I can carry the information easily. Now I can compile and save. So what we are actually gonna do here, got this stuff, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Now I'm gonna go back to the character citizens here. On this widget, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create here a custom event called API reload load info. All right. Now, oh, my YouTube is complaining. I mean, I'll close this. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's just complaining about it. Apologies if the video session is a little bit bad. In the next one, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit better. But anyway, guys, so here we need to load all the information. So it's gonna put all this stuff here, right? Let's copy the character. I like to do this trick. I go here to the character. Oh my gosh, I'm getting very confused here. Yes, perfect. Paste, and then I promote to a variable, so I don't have to find the type. Now this one is gonna be, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to expose to spawn, but I'm just gonna leave it. And from here we can actually set, so we have to pass the variable. And now we can get character manager to get the parts. Perfect. Now we're gonna go back to here, and we have to kind of set up all this information, right? And here's the tricky part, but I don't have the stuff yet, but I have like lumberjack, I have the NPC, I have like this stuff here. For example, right? I can wire the fire part already, but let's focus on the name. And also I don't have an age. That's a problem, but we can do that right now. So I'm gonna get NPC info, right? So we're gonna get NPC info, and now we can compile and save. And let's just do a print here to make sure that this is working. Crazy. Let's just have a look. So if I open up that, it's probably not gonna work because I haven't wired up the event. Yeah. So we're gonna have to go back to People's tab, Graph, and I get citizen info, and now I need to get this WBP, this one, citizen whatever, yeah, and let's just call the API. And if you've been following my videos, you know that I always like to call things API because it's always easy to find your custom event like that. So this is a character reference. This is a, oh, no. Sorry guys, I kind of did a mistake here. Is the character ref, but the character ref is BP Maze on click. EV open character settings. Go back. Open settings. I think I'm gonna have to bind this event again. Let's just custom event code. What's that? Yeah. Ah, so that's right. I'm using the wrong variable. Yeah. Get character ref. Open character info. Ah, that's the one. Yeah. You see, I have to clean up this with better names. But anyway, now I can press play. Go back. Storage. People. Look at the crazy mark showing up. But the point is that this is passing the data now. So it's loading up. I just need to load the data. And let's just do that. Like that's the easy part. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's the easy part to do, right? So for example, now I have this widget. What I can do here is that I can edit. I can go back here. And all I gotta do is character info, BP, base master character. Nice. I'm gonna create a custom event called API load character data, right? And now I get this get character, no, so get manager. And then from here, we just get master, no, NPC info. I should probably create a macro for this stuff. Right, now we just have to do the whole, so for example, the icon, right? It's, now we have to do that boring job, like, so get the image. To me, this is a little bit boring. Set texture, because every time you spend time doing UI, for me at least, it's always like, I have a feeling I'm gonna change this, and this is gonna break, and I'm gonna have to go back and refactor all this stuff. And I am a little bit aware that the way I'm building the UIs on this game, I think is a bit chaotic. There is better ways, I think, to improve, you know, the UI. So character name. But I think it's tricky, especially because if you spend too much time planning, right, then when you start to build your game features, it kind of gets to a different part. So I think it's better to refactor the UI. In my case, at least, it's working very well. I do refactor the UI after, so I don't have to spend long periods of time trying to do this. Now, okay, this is the part I want to talk about. Age. I do not have this set up, but we can easily do this. So I already know that NPC info has all this data, right? So what I can do, I'm just gonna open up the ST master character. How's the name of this? Oh my gosh, ST master character infrastructure. It's such a long name. Why did I do this to myself? Like, this is such a long name. ST master character info. There we go. Jesus. Now we're gonna add a new variable called age. Okay, go back, and this is gonna be just an integer, and by the default it's gonna be 30, right? Compile and save. Perfect. Now we're gonna go back to the game. Actually, I have to save this now. It's gonna change a lot of stuff, but nothing too problematic, let's say. Right, so now we have the information coming here. Now, let me go back. Let's just edit the character, because I have way too many things open, and it can cause some issues. Right, now I have the age. Perfect. Now, you see, this is it's a long string, right? So what we can actually do here, I'm just gonna put this age name, and I did this before on my channel. I have to kind of do a tricky thing here. So set texture, not texture, text, set text, and then you add here. Now I'm gonna create a literal string, and I'm just gonna plug this string right here. And with the string you can manipulate more easily. And on this case I can do like append, right? Age, and then you do that, and then you can do a little space, add a new age. Perfect. Now let's just compile and save. Let's just double check, is this loading fine? So let's just go back to the graph, API load character data. Now let's compile and save, go back to the citizen, let's go back to graph, and let's just add this here, and we add the load character data. Right, so this is the first thing we did. Let's see, I think this is gonna work. I have a good feeling about this. Come on, let's load up. People, open up. Doesn't work. Let's see what the hell we did wrong here. I think it's probably because we're not passing the character. So we're passing the information there. Yes, of course. We need to pass the character info here. We have to set that because it's loading from null. I am just gonna do a couple of things here. I'm gonna clean up all those nodes here because this is very distracting. So it goes here, and that's it. And then it passed the character ref, which is the character info. I already changed the name. I have to keep my names consistently. But what I like to do here is I like to go back after, and then when I'm not streaming or when I'm not creating anything, and then properly name things, listening to a podcast, using the flow, because otherwise it gets tricky, right? People, go back. Let's say, guys, I added the name, right? Now, what I can do here is something just so I can kind of play around after. What we're kind of concluding here is I'm going to click on this BTN here. And when I click on this, look how cool is this now. Now I have the character reference. Get character ref, right? And I can destroy the object. And when I destroy the actor, I mean, I'm gonna make it this nice, of course. The final game is not gonna be like this. But look at that. I'm gonna click on, I don't know, who is this character? I'm gonna fire the NPC. And if I close for press T, the NPC is not here anymore. This is a problem though. This is actually a good point. I need to change. This is actually a good point. A good point, because when I fire the NPC, I have to tell my world resources, on this case, the castle resources. Sorry, castle resource, that this is happening. Let me just double check what's going on with the feed here, if there's anything happening. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let me go back here, just to make sure the stream is still going. So I think I have to do that logic. Let's do that logic. You know, let's do it. It's a little bit of a pain ass to do because right now it's complicated. But let's just pass the character info, right? So I am gonna pass this, and I need to get the castle resources. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna do that trick. Paste it. Promote to a variable, and then we're just gonna add it here. We also set pass that. Perfect, right? Go back to my character here, add the castle resources, and there you go. Right, now the next thing I want to do here is that I'm gonna press play. Let's see, people. Oh yes, because it has like a time that it loads up. Let's just go back here. Let's just, I think it's like 2 seconds the time I set up. Let's go back and press people. Oh, why is the people not working anymore? What did they do? What did they broke? What will happen? So here. Available characters. So citizens. What happened? Let's try again. Let's press play. Press people. Right. Let's just do a print here again. Let's check. I think I added something that ended up breaking the game. I mean, it does tell me that logic, but let me have a look here first. I can figure out. Let's just compile and save this stuff. Perfect. Yeah, this. Actually, I already have that. Paste it right here, and I'm gonna get the length. Ah, yeah, I know. I think I know what I did wrong. But let's just try again. Go back. People tab 0. Okay, there's something on the tab that is breaking. And so the problem is not here, but the problem is on the world manager. So let's just double check. Is this being fired? Bring string. Let's just add a different color. And press play. Let's see. So if I press T. Oh, I forgot. I was playing around with the character. And hello. Okay. So it's firing hello. What's the length? Length. of like characters. great. Okay, this is passing fine. So why is my people tab now? Let's just double check. Where does the source comes from, right? The resource managers. This passing fine. Yes, that is the problem. I renamed the castle to castle management. Yeah, that's something I have to worry about when I rename those things. All right, got that. Perfect. So you got the age, fire NPC. So that's, I can actually go back here. Let's just also bring the gender of the character, right? Oh yeah, we forgot one thing. That now that we passed this information here, passing the castle resources. Now, on here, we have this destroy actor, all right? On the resource management, I am gonna do this as a function. So I'm gonna wrap this into, actually, this needs to be server-wise as well. So unfortunately, let's just create a custom event called API refresh characters list. Right, list. And I'm gonna put it here. I'm just gonna probably don't need this delay. And I'm just gonna edit this stuff right there. All right. Now, unfortunately, this refresh character list, I do pretend to have like a multiplayer game at some point. This is way off scope right now, but I'm gonna just wire up this to be like handle those events. So it's gonna be the client, then the server, and then the multicast. Multicast. Now I'm gonna go back to put multicast. I'm gonna put this on server, reliable, and client. So the idea is that we call the client, say, hey, I need to update, and then, hey server, can you please do this? And then the server say, okay, no problem, let's refresh all the clients. So if you're playing with your friends and everyone is managing the same castle, oh my gosh, what the hell happened here? Oh, is that real? You can have actually no name? You can actually rename your event to space. How is that possible? How do you call this? Jesus. Okay. Didn't know that was possible. I don't know why would you do that, but I guess you can do it. Okay. So we add the stuff. Perfect. We plug this right here. And the next thing I have to do is compile and save. Now we go back to the characters list. When you destroy the actor, we call the character resources and you say, hey, refresh. And now we probably gonna have other problems, but don't worry, we are gonna do that. We're gonna fix this. All right, so the first problem that I have is, why is this not working? Let me just double check. I think it's going too fast again. That happened. People, nope. Let's check what is going wrong. Oh yeah, of course, guys. I didn't call the event. Now how's that gonna work? All right. Now that's fine. Now we're gonna go back to people, and that's fine. So what's the next thing that we have to do? So we click on it, fire NPC, something happened. Yes, it's working. It's not closing the UI though. That's easy to do. Oh, actually, I deleted myself. Okay. That's something we have to fix. Let me double check what's going on YouTube. Make sure we have, how's the chat? Is there any comments? Oh yeah. Hi, very cool that you are making a live stream with the devlog. What game are you working on? So this one is, it's a castle simulation. Let me show you guys. This is very cool actually. So this is just the part where I'm doing the UI. I'm gonna open up here my main level. So basically, this is gonna fry my computer, by the way, because I have too many stuff running on the background. But anyway, is a simulation of a kingdom. Like imagine in third person. So instead of being like Age of Empires where you have all the top down, it's like a Kindle simulation where it's in third person. So it's loading up. It's because my scene is not optimized yet. I have everything loaded, so I have to improve that. Right, so that is loading up. Look at that, perfect. I'm just gonna put this on the screen. So this is the scene. So basically, I have here, I'm gonna press play from there, so you guys can see exactly what I mean. So if I press play here, you guys gonna play the game with me. I do have some videos about explaining how I was building this stuff, so it's gonna come up some point. But that's it. So you have the castle, right? You have here, for example, the lever, which you open up. Why is it not working? Bear with me that my frame rate is not good. I have like a AI running on the background. I'm rendering a video, doing too many stuff. It will be a better frame rate. And here you have the castle stuff. So also I added NPCs, right? So I'm gonna show you. I think they're actually doing the work. Yeah, look, they're like all coming. I set up them so they can kind of bring wood for me. So they're following like a waypoint. So they're too fast, but it's quite cool, right? So they're coming here. Let's see if this is actually gonna work. So I have to fix this thing on my Unreal, man. This is, so the problem is that I'm using this asset to build the landscape, right? Which is really cool, but I have to do some optimizations behind the scenes. But here you go. So they're coming here. If I press enable nav mesh, you guys can see what's going on. This is gonna fry my computer. Come on, look at that. So they're coming up. So they're going on this side, and I can stop my nav mesh so I can see what's going on. They're coming, and now they have like their houses. So this UI that I'm building, it's gonna, every time I add a new NPC, it's gonna show up a new house on the map, and they're gonna be assigned to it. And look at that. So if you look at here, so they go back and they're adding resources back. Come on, add a resource. Look at that. So it's adding the wood, which is cool. Oh, this is blocked. I have to fix that collision issue. So they're actually adding here. Come on, come on. There. Oh, this one is stuck. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. And now, if you come here, you can actually grab the item. You see, you can see they're adding the item here, which is pretty cool. Not sure why they're stuck though. I'm just gonna hit them, so they go back to do whatever they were trying to do. There you go. Fix the problem, guys. But yeah. So are you starting the castle or you have built by yourself? So this castle I built by myself, some parts, and some other parts I basically copy from the asset, created into a blueprint, and then I brought it here because it's very time consuming. And by the way, you're the only dev working this project. Yes, I am a solo dev. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to use as much reusable parts I can, because it's too much work, man. It's like building this whole castle took me like a couple of months just to make sure. And the problem is it's not even building that's the hard part. The hard part is the collision. Like when you put an NPC and the collision, sometimes you have to make him so he can actually work, so he can go up the stairs, and it doesn't hit the wall, and it's so much stuff you can have to do here. But that was the most challenging thing. And also there's a cool thing here that I didn't show you guys, which is basically I have here like a pub. So you can actually come here and you can get a drink. So you go here and then you go up and you can actually have some drinks with your characters. You see here there's like an audio, so I added the fire. And the cool thing about it as well is that I did some optimization, so as you leave, look at the lights. They will turn off, so everything inside the scene turns off. And you can also do, I mean, I didn't show you this stuff, but if my computer doesn't fry, but let's see. I can actually collect wood here as well. So you see. So I did this stuff. And let me double check where's the characters, because you can see them collecting wood stuff. Yeah, just collecting characters going back He's going back here to collect the wood. This guy's stuck. Not sure why. Let me fix him. There we go. That shouldn't happen, but yeah, I have to improve the AI. Still very bugged. So what's the other question, you guys? Hopefully it won't give up on the game. Yeah, no. This time I'm gonna do it for real. Like, I had so many failed projects, but this time it's I will fix this. So I'll carry on and finish this project. It's going to be a multiplayer or too much work? I think it's gonna be too much play. I mean, it's too much work, but for now, it's main focus on single player. But every single component, every single thing that I'm adding, I am adding with the multiplayer in mind, because it makes easy after to switch to multiplayer. The things that is tricky is AI sync. It's a problem. And then how do you sync all the manage for the castle? But the thing is that because you guys are working with the same castle, right? So everyone is working in favor of everyone. So it makes things a tiny little bit easier. Because if it was like a competitive game, no way. Like it's hard, right? I didn't show the house here. We also have the house. But yeah, I'm planning to do this like a multiplayer. And there's one cool feature as well that I added, which is, I can show you here. Which is basically the ability for you, at some point, I'm just add it here, to, like, since this is gonna be your castle, right? You can actually add items on it. So for example, we can add here like a table, right? And you're gonna be able to do this kind of stuff. So you go back, and then you add the tablecloth. So it's kind of like a The Sims vibe, you know? So some people like this stuff for the game as well. And you can even add a chair as well. You can sit on it. But if I press, I can hit this. So I'm adding destruction to the game as well. It's just I'm struggling to showcase the game because of the frame rate. I think the streaming is not helping. But yeah, that's the game, man. And you know, there's much more to it. So you have, for example, the tricky thing about the AI, it was to make it to work. And as you guys can see, there's all these messy points here. And basically, I had to make roads so the AI follow the roads. I don't have the game on the wish list yet because it's in a very alpha state. And my plan is to release it soon. I don't even have a name for the game yet, so it's all let's say in theory, right? But I was saying here about this path. This took me a while to figure out. I didn't know that, for example, you see this green part here, right? You know, Unreal Engine, all this green part is the NPC nav mesh invoker, right? If you make it too big, your game will crash. But the problem is that if your NPC is here, right, where is the resource path, and he needs to go here and he doesn't have a path, he just stayed there like an idiot. It doesn't do anything. So I have to make sure that all the paths have the size and they can follow. So basically the reason why I created the main square is to make sure that they always pass in the same place, you see. But you know, there's a crazy awful amount of optimization I have to do on this. And also the fact that, for example, when I press play, I can kind of play with any character, doesn't help as well. I have no idea that was going to be very hard. Because, for example, right now you can press U and you can play with any character, right? And if I play with him, like I can play with a zombie. I can even make the zombie fly, by the way. But the fact that this happens, it's very hard as well, because you have to make sure the character goes back to do the behavior. And also start to do this thing here, which is the river. So I also added like a little river here. My next goal is to add fish to the game, so you can kind of fish, which is cool. And also, me and my girlfriend will be working on this cool cave here, and it's gonna be the Merlin cave, and we're gonna have like some spooky shit happening here, which is gonna be cool. I wanna kind of make the game so you kind of get like the game is peaceful, right? But it can scare the hell out of you sometimes, just to make things a little bit fun. So there is that tricky part. But yeah, man, I think that's the part that I was working on. I hope I can actually make the game fun at some point. But to be honest, guys, I think that's everything I had for this stream. I have a lot of work to do, but I just wanted to share what is this game that I'm working on. I'm posting videos and promos, but they are a little bit disconnected. It's just that it's too much work. Is the website, is this, is that, so it's too many things to work together. But this is gonna be like a castle simulation, and you're gonna be able to play with any character you can see within constraints. And you also have, for example, one of the things that I forgot to mention, and I didn't do a proper promo of this, is that on here, my master core, where's the asset modules? There we have like a character system, maps. Anyway, there's a map here where you can actually create your character. So you're gonna be able to fully customize your character as you go. Would you be adding waves, bandits, some? Yes, yeah. So that's gonna be the main thing of the game is, for example, I'm gonna add like, for example, in the evening, you must have to close the gate. If you don't close the gate, you're gonna have like this swarm of skeletons. They're gonna come time to time. So if the doors are open, they just walk in. But to make things harder, I'm gonna make so they can spawn. And on my game, I can actually switch the weather. So for example, here I have like where is this? The weather. I don't have this set up right now, I think. But I can make it like a rain, right? So clear? Is that, yeah, this is the one. So for example, here we have like, what is it? Blood moon. There we go. So I'm going to be able to do this. So you're going to be inside your castle, and then this stuff's going to happen. And then you're going to be like, oh, what's going on with my game? And then and then the skeletons is going to be spawning, and then you have guards to try to kill them and this kind of stuff. So let's see how this go. I think it's going to be fun. I think the trick is just to make sure everything works together. Like right now, my character doesn't have health. Like he has a health bar, but it's not being used. The combat stuff is not working properly. But one thing that I'm very proud that I was doing is that since we're gonna have caves as well, we're gonna actually add like a lantern. I think is a torch. Yes. This one. So I'm gonna make it like caves inside the game as well, and you're gonna have this kind of stuff. So for example, the picker, right? So with your character, you're gonna go through like a dark place, so you can get, and you're gonna be able to equip like a lantern, and then you're gonna be able to walk around with it, which is really cool. It's a little bit buggy, but works fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually I have a Discord. I have on. I'll get on the website, the devrealm.com. There's a link, but it's always broken. But I'll make sure that that Discord server is always up to date, so you guys can actually work on it. And I'm gonna make sure is everything up to date. But thank you very much, man, for watching. I wasn't expecting anybody to watch this, to be honest. I did a little bit out of the blue. But I think it's a work in progress. We'll see how it goes. And that's it. I'm gonna finish the live here. Thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna try to make this thing more often, not only for my devlog, but also for tutorials. I'm trying to plan to add some like live tutorials, like, let's create a card game online. Let's create a platform game, and I'm gonna make sure that people are aware of what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I will. Thank you very much for the server. I'll make sure I'll give you. If you DM me on the on Discord or here, or send me an email, then I'll ask you for some help on it. And also one thing I want to do here as well is that at some point I want to bring some crazy development stories, like some horror development stories on the channel as well. Kind of not necessarily as a podcast, but like stories of horrible games that end up becoming a huge pile of mess. I have one, which I'm gonna tell at some point, but I'll invite you guys to it. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching, man. I appreciated that, and I'm gonna